Whose story is this?
It's not Kitty's.
No, it's not Kitty's.
Definitely not hers.
Not Kitty or Lockheed's.
Welcome back to Simply Amazing, the only, probably the only, you know what? The original, the first, the only, the best Nightcrawler Kurt Wagner podcast out there. If there is another, it is the fake. You know, if you want the real deal, listen. If you're buying a bag in Chinatown, you're not buying a Versace, you're getting a Versace. If you want the Versace, you come to us. You come to Simply Amazing. You don't go anywhere else. We are the original Nightcrawler podcast. We are the Versace of Nightcrawler podcasts. Okay, everybody? Sorry.
I really like that. That's actually really sexy. Like gay pride. I don't know how that's gay, but gay pride.
Sure. Gay pride. Sure. I don't know. I just watched House of Gucci and I really love the assassination of Gianni Versace. That's why it's all coming together for some reason. But like, we are the Gucci, the House of Gucci, House of Versace, House of Simply Amazing. Thank you very much. We are the originals. I don't know why I went onto that tangent, but hi guys, I'm the OG Nocturne, the original. Hello, welcome. You can also call me Lisa. We've got an awesome guest for our amazing show this week. Something new and exciting that I have very little to say about because I hated it. But we'll get into that in a second. But before we get to that, why don't I introduce my fabulous co-host, who will introduce our fabulous guest.
Hi, everybody. I'm your friendly neighborhood by Lauren, and today I have a really awesome nerd joining us. You might know them on Twitter as ChangoATX, but they just go by Chango in general. They're always tweeting amazing things and tweeting the most fabulous looks, the most fabulous drawings. You might have bought their merch. If you haven't, you should. Chango, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are y'all doing?
Listen, I gotta say, like, Chango, you're serving a pretty awesome look right now with this like studded collar with like the rainbow studded collar with this heart, and then the bat hat. I mean, you gotta represent the bat hat. We are in the bat moment right now, so
right.
It is the time.
I'm repping for my comic shop, Bat City, which
there you go.
works
Nice.
Because Austin is the Bat City, and. I thought it'd, perk it up since we are talking about the fabulous Kurt the Wagon there.
That's true. That is true. Very nice.
Absolutely.
I love it.
It was perfect timing because when we're recording this, the Hellfire Gala news, the promo art just dropped. So you already look like you're halfway ready to making your outfit.
Oh, trust me, my outfit's in the closet right there. I did not get to put it on last year, and I will put it on this year.
That's gonna be so epic. I'm so excited to see all the looks. We might have to do like a little Hellfire Gala fashion contest or something. God, yes. That'd be really fun to do.
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I got it done. Depends on how much nudity is allowed. All right.
It's the X-Men. It's nudity. They came out of AIDS naked.
That's true.
Only nudity, nothing less apparently. Maybe that'll be the theme.
You know what I like to think about? I'm sorry, this is a total tangent. We haven't even gotten to what we're talking about. But like, remember in the very beginning of Dawn of X and House of X or whatever, in the very beginning of all that, when they go on that one mission and the X-Men come out of the eggs for the first time and they're all naked and Storm is like, are you, like, she's doing that whole thing with them in front of all of mutants. And it's like, did they know that when they were coming out of those eggs, they were going to be naked in front of everybody? Like, was that told them ahead of time? Because imagine, like, you've just come out of an egg, you're full of gunk, and, like you've just been implanted with your memories, and it's like, oh my God, okay, what just happened? What? And then Storm is grabbing you, being like, are you Jean Grey? And it's like, oh my God, what? Where the hell, what? And then, like, there's people screaming around you, and you're totally naked, and, like, okay, let's pause for a second. Yeah, it's just too much.
I personally would think that I would be like, it would be a shock to the senses. You're like, A, why am I sticky? B, why am I naked? And C, why are all these people here in front of me?
Like, were they aware,
Yeah.
or were they just reborn and then all of a sudden naked and on a stage?
I think that's actually a good segue into today's topic, which is the
Is
X-Men
it really
Legends
though?
number
But okay.
12. It is, because it's like, did who approved this? Like, where'd this come from?
Oh
Like,
yeah,
do
okay, that
we
is a good
really
segue.
know
Yeah.
what this means? Like, because we're gonna get into that. So for those of you that don't know, X-Men Legends 12 came out last week, and it was the issue Claremont came back and wrote with Nightcrawler and Kitty Pryde at the forefront of the series, with Lockheed in the back, and is pre-Excalibur, so it's basically supposed to lead into Excalibur #1. I know Lisa already has feelings about it, but Chango, give us a little prelude. What were your first impressions of the book when you opened it, I guess?
So I was basically like, oh, so this is literally right after the Forge situation. So that the Fall of the Mutants, that kind of like threw me for a loop because I hadn't read that yet. So I was like, what are they talking about? And then seeing how they connected it to current stuff was pretty cool. But at the same time, I was like, man, Chris Claremont's writing is very much of a certain time.
What? So now my understanding about the whole X-Men Legends thing, I know, yeah, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm trying to like understand how to say this without saying it. My whole understanding about the X-Men Legends thing is that it it's like these people are coming back, or these writers are coming back, and they're telling stories that they were unable to tell for whatever reason, that kind of filling in the gaps of stories that they had before, right? And there was this gap between the Fall of the Mutants and Excalibur for all these characters, which, yeah, there's stories to be told there, but I don't necessarily know that this was one that we needed to hear, because I don't really know what was told, that, like, what is the burning story that was told here that needed to be told? I'm trying to figure out what, like, I learned in this story that was like, oh my gosh, like what, like, because I guess maybe it's just I was setting myself up for something. I was more excited for something to come from it that didn't come from it, and maybe that's part of it. But I just felt like this was just like a whole lot of edging about Nightcrawler possibly being Mystique's son, and we already know he's Mystique's son, so like, and then it just, yeah, it just felt like that. And Destiny has weird powers. All of a sudden she can teleport people to an island, and she can also
Yeah, what the hell
astral
was
project
that?
herself. Yeah, like lots of stuff that was not explained at all, like that kind of stuff. And here's the thing, I've gotten to a point where it's like, I don't care if you can tell a good story, then make people do whatever the hell you want. If the story's good enough, I'll let anything happen. I don't care. Like, Kurt can breathe fire if you can give me a compelling enough reason to make it happen. But just like, I don't understand. Like, what was the point? Like, in the end, it's just like Mystique tries to shoot him, and then she's like concerned for him. Oh no. And he's like, why would you care? And it's like, we all fucking know. We learned already 20 years ago. Like, this story might have been interesting if it had come out 30 years ago or 40 years ago when it was supposed to come out, in that time. But knowing what we all know now, looking back, it's not interesting to be like, oh, isn't she? No, she is. We know she is. We've seen it. We've done it. We've been there. We've heard it. It's over. Moving on.
Yeah, I'm not sure there was a story that needed to be told for us as readers. I feel like it was more Claremont felt the need to tell this, whatever
I
this story was. Like, he, for whatever reason, wanted to put even more emphasis on Destiny and Mystique than he could in the past, which he did put a lot more on. He wanted to show Mystique actually care about Kurt, which I'm all for, but I was very, very confused by. Um,
Yeah.
it seemed like there was character work that Claremont felt the need to do. I'm not sure if it was a need for us readers.
There was this moment where she's like, I'm a hero. I'm a hero because you and Rogue made me a hero. And we're like, yeah, we get that. But then you,
He have plans to actually try to redeem Mystique? Like, what is that? What was supposed to be revealed? That, by the way, guys, if he had his way, Mystique would have actually became a hero and actually been a good mother. Like, what the hell?
But like, he wrote on the books for another 10 years or so after this. So it's not like You know, it's not like this was supposed to take place in like 1991, right before
Exactly.
he left. This took place right before Excalibur started, and he still had all that time. So, what are you telling us, buddy? Did you want to see Kitty fight in a nightgown? What's going on?
She's a kid. I sure as hell hope not.
I
Jesus.
know, I know. I'm kidding. Joke, 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 joke,
I
joke.
was
Of course.
I did like it did kind of show that Kurt's a badass, but we really didn't need that validation because we already know that. And it also showed how useless Kitty is, which I was kind of like, so she spent most of the time unconscious and hovering? Okay.
She was having issues with her powers. So like right before they go into Excalibur, both of them have issues with their powers, which I part of this story I think is trying to explain why they have
Right.
the issues with their powers, but like at the same time like Fall of the Mutants just happened and there was all that shit. So it's like, okay, fine. That I can just infer that something happened within all of that and or around all of that I could have just, I didn't need this to be like, oh, this is why he can't teleport and this is why like Kitty can't like it can't become tangible. That makes, so but again, it so the funny thing is that when it comes to Excalibur, there was a story that Chris Claremont was supposed to write before Excalibur, and it was supposed to be about Rachel Summers. It was supposed to be about her trip into Mojo World. And because when Excalibur starts, it starts with her being like the very first arc is the werewolves coming to find Rachel to take her back to Mojo World for Mojo. And it's a great arc because Kitty dresses up as Rachel, so she gets all like, Racheled up and goes out. But so yeah, like so there was supposed to be like a mini series about Rachel before Excalibur. So I'm like, he should have written that. That would have been cool. Like I would have liked to have seen that.
Well, that's what's funny is that the way he ended the issue was Kitty going, huh, I keep having dreams about Rachel. I wonder what that means. And first I was like, one, gay.
The same. I
Two,
thought the same.
with you, where's this story? But I was like, okay, Claremont, I get it. Like, you see the gay like we do, but like, you could have just given that over. Like, if you're gonna do weird shit like this, just go all out. Like, what's Marvel gonna do? Say, how dare you?
This literally could have been the issue about Kitty's dream
Yeah.
with Rachel, and that would have connected the story of Rachel to Excalibur run. This was kind of weird. Like, especially because it was like Forge being like, oh, I want you to punish me for the bad things that I did, but don't kill me.
Yeah, who the hell was Forge in this issue? Like, I don't. I don't know who he was. You know what? Wait, now that
Right.
you've said that, that makes me think. Because we all know Claremont is a big fan of Ed. Basically a part of like BDSM stuff and everything. Did he intentionally write these themes in there? Like these intentional like BDSM level themes? Because he's known for doing that. He's
I
known.
wouldn't be surprised.
I don't want. Here's the thing. I don't want to like make assumptions about a person's kinks or whatever or anything else. I'm just gonna say like he gave Callisto tentacles for no reason. Like the man's interesting. The man is interesting. He writes some interesting things, and he is the reason the X-Men are who they are, and the reason we love him, basically. So God bless.
I know he is true chaotic good. Let's just
Oh,
put it that way.
absolutely.
True chaotic good. And I do have to say, even though the story really doesn't add up here, I did like seeing Mystique and Destiny, even though the context really doesn't work. It was still nice seeing them used. Especially because Destiny's still dead at this time. That was weird. But as a Kurt story, as a Nightcrawler story, this wasn't the worst thing ever. It was a solid Kurt on a mission trying to do good, and he got some badass moments. But like you said too, Chango, like we don't need that validation. Like we already know Kurt's amazing. So if you're gonna write a story where he's doing amazing things, give him an amazing story too,
Right.
like with that.
Can I ask a question about Forge really quickly? Sorry to go back to the whole Forge thing, but like, am I correct in saying that Forge in the whole beginning of the comic is actually Mystique? And then the only Forge, the real Forge, is the guy is the zaddy with the striped shirt at the end.
The
Well,
zaddy.
we see him as himself at the beginning because he's wearing the striped shirt, and then only when he's
Yeah.
wearing the X uniform is that Mystique.
He was wearing the striped shirt in the beginning. Okay, I got to go back to the beginning and look at that. Okay, because yeah, because then because oh okay, yes, I see, you're right. Yeah, so when he's wearing the striped shirt, he's him, but when he's in the X uniform, he's Mystique. Because yeah, he's all upset that Nightcrawler shows up because hint hint, that's his son or her son. Well, we know Claremont. We know it's been done. Just
And
FYI.
how many
Yeah. I
ways can they call him a demon and a monster in one freaking issue? Like we get it.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I did like though. I think Claremont did it intentionally to try to do what he did in the past, which was to make Destiny his mom and Mystique the father, essentially. Like, because there's no reason for Destiny, even if she can astral project or where the hell that was, to go to Kurt. Like there wasn't necessarily a direct reason
Right.
for that other than, oh, maybe she's like, oh, this is kind of my fucking kid, you know? And Mystique is a stubborn asshole, so let me
The
be
only
the mom here and bridge the gap.
the only thing I could think of is like Destiny would only be able to see it is that I mean, we have seen moments that Mystique has had that have been like soft moments that she's had towards Nightcrawler
Yeah.
at times. Depending on who's writing her. Sometimes she does, sometimes she doesn't. So it depends. But yeah, so she could have been like this might be one of the only people who could reach her.
Yeah.
But I like the idea better of Destiny and Mystique being his parents rather than Azazel. Throw Azazel in the trash. Throw
I was
it
gonna
in the
say, Chonga, how do you feel
trash.
about Azazel and the Draco?
I feel like that is so like it's just phoning it in for me personally. Like, oh,
Mhm.
how about the other demon dude is his dad? Cool. I
It's like what other demon dude? He's not even. He just made him up.
exactly.
He created a new demon dude. Oh my gosh.
And I'm like,
He's not even like the actual devil or anything. Like, who is this
and it
dude?
makes more sense for Destiny and Mystique to be his parents because, like, duh, blue first of all, and also two mutants.
Mhm.
Like, you can explain that so easily, and it has more weight to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Claremont did. It's like she shapeshifted into a dude, which she's completely capable of doing, and bam, next question. Like,
Right.
and then people went, no, she can't shapeshift into another gender. And Claremont's like, the fuck you mean? Like, of course. You don't even know if this is her actual form. Like, this is the
Right.
form we see Mystique in normally for her natural form. But I've said before in this pod, like, we really don't know anything about Mystique's past, actually, which is actually really cool. It makes her one of the more interesting
Oh,
characters.
absolutely. And there's so much you can
Yeah.
build off of that, knowing that who knows what her true form is. They are a gender fluid character, so having that be
Yeah.
the case, and then having their kid be a demon would kind of like work with that whole mentality.
Mhm.
I would love it if Mystique like some ridiculous thing came out about her past. Like she was some person in history, like that, just some random person in history. I don't know.
Well, that's kind
Like
of like how Destiny is Irene Adler from Sherlock
Right.
Holmes. Like that
yes.
one's really cool with Destiny. So yeah, I feel like you definitely could do that with Mystique, but and I know people are gonna hate this comparison, but I think it logically makes sense. It's kind of like the Joker with Batman. Once you give him a background, it kind of takes away from the character. Actually, part of their appeal is that you don't know who
Right.
they
The
really
mystery.
are. Part of it is that you can do so much. Like we can go back decades and even hundreds of years. Like imagine going hundreds of years back and Mystique is somebody completely different and we're like, oh my god, that's finally her true form. And then they're like, actually she was born way before this, guys, try
JK,
again.
JK.
You know who she is? She's like Mystique is somebody who is she's definitely like she's had her hands in a lot of pies throughout history. I feel like that's what who she was in the Manson family. She was Squeaky Fromme. I guarantee it. Like she has had her hands in a lot of pies. She has
She's
done a
had
lot
her
of
hands in a
things.
lot of things.
Oh yeah. A lot of pies. Um Yeah, no, she's just always, kind of in the background making things happen. She's on the grassy knoll, like she's making things happen all the
That's
time.
why she works like such a cool character because no matter what, you can put her in any place in Marvel history and it will fit because we just don't know
Yeah.
how far back Mystique's story goes. And you can team her up with anybody and it kind of works because she's like the good cop, bad cop to every character in Marvel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she really can be anybody's villain, anybody's foil.
Yeah, it is really cool to see that, and I don't know, I'm hoping that we're going to get more Nightcrawler and Mystique stuff, because the latest we got was that one issue, I can't remember which one it was, but the one where Mystique's like, "But do this for your mother," or like,
Right.
Oh
whatever
my
that
god.
was. There was that vote or something, and it
This
was
is during
like,
Inferno.
"What?"
Yeah.
Like,
That was Inferno, yeah. There's
yeah,
got
and
to
it
be
was
something
like,
coming about that. There's got to be something coming about that. There's no way. He's not going to vote for his mother. Come on. He hates her.
Well, I'm absolutely hoping that we get that because with the last issue of X-Men, Rogue and Destiny had their story.
mhm.
So I'm like,
No, Gambit.
Gambit,
That was
which
Yeah.
so
was so
funny.
good. I'm like, can we get that with Kurt now too? Because Kurt is the guy that's always kind of thrown to the wayside when it comes to that family dynamic. He's kind of always the stepchild.
Oh, don't get me started. What, like, I mean, granted, Graydon is like a racist, but he's also a kid too. So like, I posted a meme a while ago of like the kid drowning, and then there's the skeleton at the bottom of the pool, and it's like Graydon's the poor skeleton at the bottom of the pool. I mean, he's awful. He's terrible. He's their kid though. So but he's terrible.
You know,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, as a whole, this issue, at first I was like, woohoo, fun nostalgia, we're having a great time, and yeah, like once you really start getting into nitty gritty and pulling it apart, it's like, so was this just a weird fanfic Claremont wrote and then had somebody draw, and then Marvel said, yeah, like an X-Men Legends issue.
I personally feel like this was his way of connecting the old stuff with Forge and the gun to what happened
Mm.
in Inferno with them depowering Moira. And it was trying to like make sense of how they knew that they were going to need this item later because they did Destiny
Okay.
did show up and be like, Forge is important, he's got a part to play in the future, you know. So that's kind of setting up what ends up happening and how much of a big part he
Yeah.
plays in Krakoa, which I get, but it was just such a like weird way of doing it. Like it's just like a one-off comment that Destiny's like, he's important. Now go protect him.
Yeah, well, and I mean that does go kind of with the yeah, it that tracks with the current continuity there, but that's interesting insight. I didn't think about that, how it could help connect things with Forge and what's used on Moira and Inferno, and kind of help piece that together too. Which makes you wonder, like, whose story is this? Is this Kurt's story? Is this Mystique's? Is this Forge's story? Whose story is this?
It's not Kitty's
No,
story.
it's not Kitty.
It's
Definitely not hers.
Not Kitty or
Do you know?
Lockheed's.
Do you
No.
know how hard it is to read that issue after we've just gotten used to like Captain Kate
Right.
Pride, and then you have to watch
Yeah.
her be like little 14-year-old whatever, and she's just like, that was so hard to read.
It makes you appreciate her now even more because you're like, man,
Yeah.
now she's like this badass assassin, you know,
And
pirate lady.
thank God.
I love how in the beginning where Kurt's like, "You're gonna stay here," and she's like, no, we're doing this together. I'm not staying anywhere."
But, to me
Yeah,
personally,
that's great character.
I felt like this might have been like a really weird way of making it a Forge issue because it's supposed to be protect Forge and Forge looking to punish himself for what happened for the fall of the mutants and creating the gun that depowered Storm. And it's him basically looking for some retribution for himself. And then Mystique being like, I'm not giving you that. You deserve to feel all the pain and punishment that you did. You know, Storm loved you, and guess what you did at the end? You sacrificed her. So that's the only thing I really like held that, okay, this is a cool part of the book. But at the same time, I was like, you went such a weird way about telling the story.
You know what I have a question about? Doesn't this also connect? There's an issue where Forge, it's after Fall of the Mutants, where Forge is like thinking about Storm, and he's like in a house. Isn't this the house he's in? Is this connecting that as well? I have the
Maybe.
issue. I bought it recently for someone.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd have to figure out what issue that is, but maybe
Oh my
it's
gosh,
yeah,
I
it's
have to dig it
also
out.
it's all interesting with Forge because I don't remember everything from that time, but like I've listened to like Mystique episode and stuff on Cerebro, and like I remember that like after Destiny died, she kept her diaries, and then Mystique ended up working with Forge, and they had a thing for Ben, and then shit hit the fan. So where is this in between that storyline with like Mystique working with Forge? Is this before or after that?
Before.
This is before
Yeah.
that.
Okay. See, that makes it even weirder to me because she knows that he had that thing. He had that relationship with Storm, and he still depowered her. And she, at
Right.
some point, decides, "Let me be romantic with this guy." Like, what a choice that is!
I don't understand
And you
why
gotta,
people keep teaming, like romantically linking Forge with these powerful women, because Forge is an idiot. Like, for all
Yeah,
the intellect that he has to be able to make all these weapons, he's not logically smart.
yeah.
that tracks.
he's not interpersonally smart. He's terrible with these relationships. He only sees this like, oh, here's the problem, here's the solution, go. And it's
Right.
like, you do realize the impact this is going to have on these people. Well, why did I think about that? I just had to do this. And it's like, bruh, like you have you have to understand. So
All right.
yeah, I don't know.
All right.
I wonder if that's Claremont just
That
doing his own projection thing.
Okay, can I just say that tracks 100%. I hate to throw this out there really quickly for anyone out there who watches Real Housewives. Literally, this week I was just watching the newest episode of Real Housewives Salt Lake City, the third episode of the reunion, and one of the husbands was talking about how like his brain is so analytical that sometimes, and I don't know what he does for a living. I think he's a doctor, and he's like talking about he's so analytical that sometimes all he thinks about is results, and he just doesn't think about like how his wife feels about the results. And they're talking about in reference to having another baby after his wife has had like 18 miscarriages, and it's like, oh my,
Oh
like
God.
like you don't understand how hard it might be to ask your wife to have another baby after she's had 18 miscarriages, and
Jesus.
you're just thinking about the result, and the result is having another baby. Like, it's that same thing where sometimes the greatest minds, these minds that are so great and can be doctors and can just do not work on another level. And that just came to my mind because I just watched it today, because as he's talking, I'm watching and thinking to myself, do you think this makes you sound better? Because it doesn't. It really doesn't.
Right, and I swear, yeah, they'll think that sometimes people that are like that, they're like, oh, but like at least I can think logically, right? And it's like, that doesn't matter here. But yeah, I think that's 100%. I still think this is kind of a, I don't know. I still think this is a Mystique issue because,
Yeah.
I mean, just from the story alone, but also how much Claremont loves Mystique. Like Mystique is one of his like children, I would argue, of all the characters. Mystique is has one. And again, just that emphasis on, yeah, you had Forge being like, oh man, I feel this way, blah blah blah. And she's like, I really don't care. Like, you did this.
Right.
I feel like that's a really interesting take. And it's interesting to put in perspective with stuff nowadays, like, for example, the Scarlet Witch. Would she have the same, does she have the same reaction to Scarlet Witch after what she eventually did? I'm sure she does. It's like, you deserve this in her head. So really, really interesting there. But it's not Kurt's story, which is annoying.
No, it is not Kurt's story, that's for sure. Yeah. Well, Mystique will have a different theory about the Scarlet Witch when she finds out that the Scarlet Witch is actually the mother of her grandchild in another.
Oh, you have a little Nocturne doll. That's so cute.
Yeah, see?
That's adorable. I love this for you. Well, Chango, any last minute thoughts on the issue that we didn't get to that you wanted to mention?
I think this would have done a lot better if it were a dream. If it were a dream book with,
Yeah, actually.
like, if it were Destiny climbing into subconsciously, like if it were something
Ooh.
like that, because that I
I
feel
like
like it would mean a lot more because Kurt dreaming about these two women in his life that have some big importance, and he just doesn't know why.
That would be interesting because I mean, Excalibur starts with a dream, with Kitty having a nightmare. So it would be an interesting thing to have Kurt. Well, and Kurt has the same dream. We don't see his version of it, but he does mention he has the same dream. So we do know that there's like all these dreams and nightmares that Excalibur starts with. So that would be interesting to see. I would agree with
Right,
that.
especially because it would be a
well, and I
different
did
dream for
like
each person. Because Forge sees it as punishment dream, Kitty sees it as a nightmare, and
uh
Kurt sees it as
Mhm.
a beautiful moment. I guess.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Or and it can even be a dream as to what he wants. Like that's the way he'd want
Right.
Mystique to react to him, which would make a lot more sense because I'm sorry, like I'm all for Mystique actually cares about Kurt, but she's just a crazy bitch. But there's no way she would have done that. There's absolutely no way. Like no matter how much I want to root for her, there's no way.
Well, it's what's weird about this whole situation is she goes from wanting to shoot him in the face to like he faints and then she's like, "Oh my god." And it's like, "Oh my
Right, my baby.
yeah, it's a very
Oh
very
my
odd
god.
situation. It's yeah, she would have been the worst mother to grow up with.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a mother who goes from throwing you off a cliff to like holding you in her arms when you get a bug bite. Oh my god. That is like
Yeah, you
that
need
is the
therapy for
worst
life,
Right.
honey.
that is the worst mother to grow up with. Like, oh my god, like she would have been the worst. Thank God she didn't raise any children except for Rogue, kind of.
Well, at
And look at
least
Rogue.
Destiny was there for a lot of that, though.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
Destiny was there
Destiny
for most of
balanced
it.
her out.
Yeah, Destiny probably. The thing is that Destiny probably knew exactly how to counteract Mystique's abuse perfectly. So it was like Mystique would do something that was kind of abusive, and then Destiny would like do exactly the right thing to like make Rogue not like suffer from it. So
Yeah.
Mystique would do something horrible to her, and then Destiny would be like, "Here's this," and
Yeah, the
Rogue turned
good cop,
down.
bad cop.
There you go.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they're
See? There you
they're
go.
they're very good at it. Yeah, again, I like it for nostalgia, but yeah, this issue doesn't really work unless you take the approach like you said, Chango, of a dream. So I'm gonna think of it like a this issue was a really weird dream. Sounds great. Thanks for sharing, Claremont. We love your weird
Yeah, because
dreams.
then they would explain
It's a
how the
night quilt.
costumes randomly showed up.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're right.
that's
That made no
that's
sense.
that's another of Destiny's powers. She can
Right.
magically make costumes
And
appear
she
out of
was
nowhere.
way hotter in this issue than she was in the Fall of the Mutants, where she looked like just this beat up, disheveled, like old lady. And I was like, the art doesn't make sense with this.
It has to be a dream. You're right. It has to be a dream. Maybe in 10 years, Claremont will come out and say, "Oh yeah, guys, that was just a dream." Like, why are you up in arms about this? And we're gonna be like, "Bruh, you couldn't have said that." Like,
Listen, she got her powers redone. She went to see Dr. Zizmoa. It's okay. She's all good. She was seeing her son for the first time in a long time through astral projection that she just got done. So, she wanted to look her
You gotta
best.
put a
So
good
there you
face
go.
if we can see a baby.
Yeah, you gotta put on a good face, especially when you got two of them.
Ah, ooh.
damn, that's a good line. That's a good one. New
Ooh, there we
Yorker came out hard there.
That's it. Well, Chango, so thank you so much for coming to join us
Thank you,
today and talk
guys.
about this issue that I had a lot more to say about than I expected to. So, apologies to everybody out there who had to listen to me.
Where can we find you, Chango? Like on Twitter, your shop, plug all your stuff.
Okay, Twitter and Instagram, ChangoATX for Austin, Texas. And my TeePublic shop is
Yeah.
also ChangoATX. And my Redbubble shop is also ChangoATX. All over the place.
All right. Very nice. I'm going to go shopping later.
She probably will too. Like she's not lying. She's gonna go shopping and get more amazing stuff.
And I do want to say, like right now, for the next, I was going to say a month, but I'm going to probably do it 2 months. All the funds that I make off of my profits, I'm going to be donating them to trans organizations here in Texas locally. So
That's awesome. Oh,
if
nice.
you're gonna shop for a cause.
Very nice. Very nice.
Love it.
Well, we'll do that. That is awesome. So yeah, I will definitely be shopping later. I have an addiction. So, and at least it's gonna go to a good cause, my addiction. So
there you go. See, that's more reason for your addiction, right? Oh my gosh, I have to do it.
Good for the babies.
That's great. I'll tell my therapist that.
For the mutant babies. Mutant trans babies. We got to protect them.
Go.
There we go. Exactly. Lauren, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at friendlynbhdbi, and all my other stuff is there. I recently, I don't know if there's anybody here that also reads DC Comics, but in case you do, I got to interview Stephanie Williams about the DC Comics news that came out about DC Pride. She's got a story in that, and they're doing that this year. And to talk about Nubia and the Amazons and how it's not ending. They're doing more.
Nice.
So you can go there and watch that interview where she talks about that. It's really awesome.
That is awesome, girl. Yes, everybody go check that out. And you can check out more Simply Amazing stuff at our website, simplyamazingpod.com. We got all of our stuff there. We got transcripts going up of our episodes. Just be gentle with them because they are not perfect. Because we use a transcription service that does their best. And then I try to do my best to go through it as best I can.
You're doing amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, you can find us there. You can find me at the OG Nocturne, NACHTURNE. We're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff. We have another live that we're planning in a couple of weeks. I think we're going to be planning it for April 1st. I believe.
And this is not a fool. This is not a prank. April 1st, we plan on doing another live where we just talk nerdy stuff and give away stuff. Again, free stuff. It's very fun.
We will be giving away stuff. The best part about this is if we change our mind, we can just say it was an April Fool's joke. So
we're covered.
Yeah, we're covered either way. And I do want to mention about the giveaways. I have put together a list of giveaways. I'm sure Lauren has some cool comics to give away as well. But I have giveaways that I've put together. I call it my Krakoan like tag sale giveaways. Basically, Basically, when I was in the Caribbean, I bought a bunch of crap with X-Men names on them. And so we're going to be giving that away. So if you ever wanted a shot glass that said Logan's Bar or a license plate that said Destiny from Barbados, oh my God, you better come to our live because we're going to be giving that shit away.
Whoever gets that Destiny one over me, I'm going to be very upset.
These are pretty sweet prizes, first of all.
I had such an epiphany one day when I was in St. Lucia maybe, and I walk into this liquor store and they had all of these shot glasses with names on them, and I was looking for Kurt because I thought, oh my God, how cute would it be to give out a Kurt shot glass? I couldn't find Kurt, but I found Kate, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna buy the Kate one. I gotta buy the Kate one. So I think, guess what, guys? Guess what? I couldn't find a goddamn thing with Kurt on it. I couldn't find a single thing. Not a single thing with Kurt.
That's Kurt-phobic. How could they?
No, Kurt. Yeah, listen, I've been doing this for a while. I've been traveling with my job for a while. So I go into a lot of these stores. Names go in and out, guys. Names go in and out. And Kurt is out, guys. Kurt is out. Start naming your babies Kurt. Bring it back. Bring back Kurt. Name your babies Kurt. You heard it here first.
Not only does Kurt need a baby, but you should also name your babies Kurt, everybody.
Name your babies Kurt. It. I won't be doing it. I don't care for the name that much. But the rest of you, please bring back the name just so we can buy the stuff to give it to you. Yes. Name your babies Kurt. Remember, there's lots of great Kurts out there. Kurt Russell, he's something else. Let me tell you. He shimmies my changos.
Oh, well then, that was a comment, Lisa. I wasn't prepared.
Well, anyway, thank you guys all for joining us. Thank you again, Chango, for joining us today for this kind of roller coaster all over X-Men Legends number 12.
Very much so.
Thank you guys for having me. It was tons of fun. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll have you back again for sure. Hopefully next time we can have you back for something we all enjoyed. All right. Well, if you enjoyed this, please let us know. Leave us a little note or a comment or rate us or whatever. If you hated it, yeah, let us know as well. Why not? We'll fight you. And if you're out there listening and you are, I don't know, out in Barbados looking for that Kurt shot glass, well, guess what? It doesn't exist because you didn't name your baby Kurt. It's your fault. But you know what? We love you anyway because you are simply amazing.